What do you think would happen if one day, without warning, you stopped playing the part? Not with drama, not with bitterness, just quietly. You don't slam the door. You don't raise your voice. You simply stop nodding, stop agreeing, stop showing up in the exact way they've come to expect. I'm not talking about abandonment. I'm talking about stepping out of the role you never consciously agreed to play. Have you ever felt that pull? That subtle ache to withdraw? Not from the world itself, but from the version of you that the world keeps trying to assign. There's something powerful about the moment you stop performing, something eerie, something liberating, because most people don't realize they're not reacting to you. They're reacting to the absence of who they needed you to be. See, we all wear masks, but some masks are stitched together by the hands of others. You become the reliable one, the good listener, the strong one, the one who never complains, the one who always makes space. And at first, maybe it feels noble, maybe even sacred. But over time, that role becomes a prison. And when you finally try to breathe outside of it, you disrupt the entire ecosystem of someone else's emotional balance. Because when you step back, you don't just remove yourself, you remove their reflection. And that's what terrifies them most. They weren't holding on to you. They were holding on to the version of themselves that only existed in your presence. Most people won't say it out loud, but they rely on you in ways that have nothing to do with love. You're their buffer against silence, their distraction from the ache, their evidence that they're okay. Because if you're still there, then nothing must be truly wrong. But when you detach, when you simply stop feeding the script, they're left staring at the raw, unfiltered space where your part used to be. And space, when uninvited, feels like abandonment, even if it's just honesty. This is the paradox. They say they value you, but what they often mean is they value the version of themselves that you help them avoid. Have you ever noticed how quickly love turns to confusion, confusion to resentment? When you stop being who someone expects, they say, "You've changed. You're distant. You're not the same." But maybe, just maybe, you're finally being real. And the person they were attached to was your mask, not your essence. That's the danger of always being available, of always saying yes, of always being the light in someone else's storm. They forget that you too are weather, that you too carry clouds and lightning. They forget you have limits, and the moment you begin honoring those limits, they experience it as betrayal. But what if it's not betrayal at all? What if it's a return to self, to solitude, to truth? The human mind is uncomfortable with gaps. When someone pulls away, it tries to fill the silence with stories. She's cold. He thinks he's better than me. They must be going through something. But rarely does it stop to wonder, am I part of the reason they left? Did I ever really see them? Or just use them to see myself more clearly? That's the raw edge of human connection. We project, we assume, we sculpt people into symbols that serve our internal narrative, and then we panic when those symbols walk away. But their leaving is not an attack, it's a correction, a quiet rebellion against the unconscious contracts we all sign. The ones that say, "I'll play this part for you as long as you pretend to see the real me." Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly seen? Not for your usefulness, not for your consistency, but for your essence. How many people know the inner weather of your heart? The restless thoughts that keep you up at night? The quiet dreams you never dared to voice? Or have you become a convenience? A well people draw from without ever wondering if it might run dry? You know what happens when you finally set down the cup? When you say, "No more today. I need to refill. I need to be alone. I need to feel something real again." Some people leave, others get angry. A few try to pull you back with guilt. But the rare ones stay. Not to take, but to sit beside you in the silence you finally allowed yourself to claim. And here's the truth most don't want to admit. Some people loved you most when you were performing, when your light made them feel less alone, when your patience covered their chaos, when your presence masked their fear of abandonment. But the moment you asked for reciprocity, the moment you revealed your humanity, their love shrank. Because it wasn't love, it was dependence. A mirror is only sacred if it reflects what we want to see. Break that image and watch how quickly reverence becomes rejection. But here's where the story turns. You don't owe anyone the performance of your old self. You are allowed to evolve, to grow mysterious, to become someone even you are still learning to understand. And if your silence speaks louder than your presence once did, let it speak. If your absence reveals the fractures in their identity, let it reveal. You are not responsible for the way others fail to carry their own weight. You are not the caretaker of their emotional architecture. And if stepping away shakes something in them, maybe that's the earthquake they needed. So take your space. Breathe without explanation. Vanish from the stage they built for you. Not to punish, not to wound, but to return. To the truth. To the core. To the unnamed version of yourself that existed before anyone told you who you needed to be. Because when you finally stop performing, you don't lose people. You lose illusions. And in the ashes of those illusions, you just might find someone real. Someone who stays, not because they need your mask, but because they can sit with your silence and still call it love. If this stirred something in you, if a part of you is still sitting in that silence wondering who you are without the masks, then don't stop here. In the next video, we dive even deeper into the quiet chaos of becoming and what it really means to rebuild your identity without anyone else's blueprint. Watch it next and let the unraveling continue.